Please see the link in the description to download a worksheet for this video. If you've not already done so, we suggest that before you watch this video, you watch the video introducing the order of operations. This is Ms. Anderson and her 5th grade class at Jackson Elementary School. One day, Ms. Anderson had to stay home, so Mr. Jones taught her class. Mr. Jones is a substitute teacher. Ms. Anderson and Mr. Jones are both certified teachers, so they are equal in their jobs. They can fill in for each other. When two people or things are equal, and we have one fill in for the other, we call that substitution. That's why we call Mr. Jones a substitute. This is Susie. She's a student in the class. Susie is not equal in skill to Ms. Anderson. That means Susie can not be a substitute for Ms. Anderson. If we left Susie in charge of the class, then the students might learn nothing. In math, we also use the word substitute. We use substitution a lot when applying a formula to a specific problem. For example, you may have used substitution when applying the formula for a rectangle's area to calculate the area of a specific rectangle. In this video, we'll learn how to substitute letters with numbers, learn how we substitute operation symbols for other symbols, and practice with a sample test question. We'll begin with learning how to substitute letters with numbers. We'll learn about this by using a formula which helps us figure out the distance that somebody or something has traveled. Here's the formula. Distance traveled equals the rate multiplied by the time. In math, we use the word rate rather than the word speed. What distance did this train travel? It's traveling at a rate of 30 miles per hour, and it's been traveling for 1 hour. The formula is distance equals rate multiplied by time. Next, we substitute the number 30 for the word rate, and we substitute the number 1 for the word time. Then we do the multiplication. 30 times 1 equals 30. So the distance this train traveled in 1 hour was 30 miles. We often use abbreviations in math formulas. We do this by writing only the first letter of a word. So the distance formula becomes d equals r multiplied by t. What distance did this ship travel? Its rate is 20 miles per hour. Its time is 4 hours. We know the formula is d equals r multiplied by t. Next, we substitute the number 20 for the letter r, and we substitute the number 4 for the letter t. Then we do the multiplication. 20 times 4 equals 80. So the distance this ship traveled in 4 hours was 80 miles. In math, we use the equal sign instead of the word is. So we might get a problem like this. What distance did this car travel? R equals 50 miles per hour. T equals 2 hours. The distance formula is d equals r multiplied by t. Next, we substitute the number 50 for the letter r, and we substitute the number 2 for the letter t. Then, we do the multiplication. 50 times 2 equals 100. So the distance this car traveled in 2 hours was 100 miles. Next, we'll learn how we substitute operation symbols for other symbols. In everyday talking, we might use the word operation to refer to a surgery that people or pets get to make them better. In math, we also use the word operation, but we use it as a general word to refer to a way that we can do a calculation. We learned 4 operations in elementary school. We learn how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Please note that the symbol for multiplication can be the letter X. This can cause some students to make mistakes. That's because many math problems involve formulas that contain the letters X and Y. You may have already encountered these formulas when you were learning about how to graph points and outline graphs. Here's a typical formula involving X and Y. It says that the value of Y equals 2 multiplied by X. This format can be very confusing to students because the letter X appears twice. The first time, the X stands for multiplication. The second time, the X stands for a letter that can be substituted with a number. To avoid confusion, we suggest that when solving formulas, you write the multiplication operation with an asterisk symbol, rather than use the letter X. When you learn to write software programs, you'll see that we use the asterisk symbol to mean multiplication. So this is a very common way to write multiplication. Here are the most common ways we write that two numbers are being multiplied. We can say the word times. We can use the letter X, or we can use an asterisk. These multiplication symbols also apply to letters. Here, M stands for any number. We can write 2 times m in words. We can write it using the letter x. We can write it using an asterisk. And we can also put the number and the letter alongside each other. All of these mean the same thing. We recommend that you use the asterisk symbol to avoid errors. In the prior examples about distance, we use the multiplication sign written as an x, because that's how most students learn to do multiplication. But in future, we suggest that you rewrite this using the asterisk symbol when you solve math problems. For example, a test question could ask what distance did these friends travel? R equals 5 miles per hour. T equals 3 hours. The distance formula is D equals R multiplied by T. Please note how we're using an asterisk as the multiplication symbol. Next, we substitute the number 5 for the letter R, and we substitute the number 3 for the letter T. Then we do the multiplication. 5 times 3 equals 15. So the distance they traveled was 15 miles. Likewise, there are many ways we can show the division operation. We can use words like 6 divided by 3. We can use a division symbol. We can use a /, and we can use a horizontal bar. If we were using a letter, like the letter M, then we would write 6 divided by M. We could write this using the division symbol. We could write this using a /, or we could write this using a horizontal bar. All of these mean the same thing. All mean to division. If possible, we suggest that you use the division symbol. This will help avoid confusion and errors. Our last topic is to practice substitution with a sample test question. What is the value of the following expression when x equals 2? First, we'll rewrite the expression by substituting the x multiplication sign with an asterisk. This helps prevent confusion about what's a multiplication operation versus what's a letter. Next, we rewrite the expression by substituting the letter x with the number 2. Finally, we solve the expression by doing the calculation. We multiply 4 times 2, which equals 8. The value of this expression is 8. Thanks for your attention.